How's it going?
This kid's pretty cool.
I just want to see this for a second.
Real quad.
Huh?
Real quad. Is it alright if we tag along for a few of your deliveries, please?
Yeah, I'm only working for another half an hour, but I've got a delivery, so by all means. Yeah, so... You want to work for Deliveroo?
I just started yesterday.
Oh, you just started?
I did my first trial
And
yesterday.
how old are you?
It's not.
Oh, okay, no worries. Okay, yeah, safety comes first, so if you think it's not safe to follow me, then just don't, okay?
Yeah, I've watched some
Yeah?
videos.
Okay, but yeah, by all means, you're more than welcome to tag along. When I get to the customer, just kind of like stay back. But yeah, okay. What's your name? Is it alright if I put you in the vlog? Yeah? Cool.
So, that took me back a little bit. I was a little bit confused about that. Basically, what happened was I was cycling through the Oracle and all of a sudden I hear, Craig! And this guy in front of me, the guy in a blue t-shirt, he was like, I've seen you on YouTube. I was like, okay, cool. And then he bumped into me later and he just said, do you mind if I come along for a couple of deliveries? I don't know why, but he was a real cool kid. I liked him a lot. It was nice to have a chat with him. And the other guy just started working for Deliveroo, so... Yeah. Right, so this is a couple of days ago now. I've tried to do this a couple of times. The first time I finished the audio and then realised that I forgot to press record. And the second time I tried to do this, I was just so tired that I gave up. So, it's late again, it's almost midnight, but I'm not feeling as tired as I was yesterday. So I'm going to try and do this. I've shortened it down, so it's just over 30 minutes, it's like 38 minutes. So I will try and upload this today, being Saturday, but it'll probably be Sunday when it finishes uploading. Maybe I can upload it overnight and then just publish it in the morning. So, yep, I was just on the wrong side of the road there. It was unlikely that a bus would have been it was unlikely that any vehicles would have been on that part, because it's a bus lane, and it just so happens that there was a bus there, and before he even got close to me, I got out of his way. I got up on the path. So, it's been an interesting couple of days. It really, really has. Friday was incredible, and I'll talk about that if I have enough time. And today, not so incredible, but still interesting. I did my first... basically, I was riding around and I saw this homeless... I don't even know if he's homeless, but he was asleep, drunk, and it was lunchtime, so I think the likelihood is that he was homeless. And I had another order and I carried on. And then I found another homeless person sleeping under an underpass, and I just thought, right, that is it. I have to do something. I have to do something. So I signed out and I did something, and I wasn't really happy with the results. Not quite sure what to say about it. I haven't decided how I feel about it yet. It's a difficult one. Okay, so I'm on my way to KFC. Let's simultaneously do some comments and questions as well as commentating on the video. Let me just get the split screens up. So today, or this evening rather, has been quite a night for Deliveroo in Reading. There was something on the group chat where somebody had had their bike stolen. I don't know if they were working, but they had their bike stolen, which really sucks. Stealing a bike is not cool, unless of course it's like rusting and it hasn't moved for 6 months. Like clearly nobody wants it, you know, falling into pieces and whatever. Then if it doesn't belong to anyone, then I guess that line is debatable, but maybe that isn't so bad. But to steal a bicycle courier's bike is like real low. This guy here, he's really cool. His name's Louis. He was the old lead for Reading. This is the third time I've said this. I say old, I'm not referring to his age. He is no longer the lead for Reading because he decided he could make more money being a regular Deliveroo motorbike driver. So, how does that work? Well, the pay hierarchical structure goes regular Deliveroo employee, and I think in some places, I'm pretty sure in some places the motorbike drivers get paid more, but according to what's his name? Elio. Why do I keep getting his name wrong? Elio. That isn't the case in Reading. So just to put that story on hold for a second, yesterday, or rather the video before, the last Deliverooing video I mentioned about how KFC had an almost military efficiently, and today it all goes wrong. They're very busy, and we're here for a little while. So I'll carry on with that, and then I'll get back to KFC. So the hierarchical structure is Deliveroo worker, because we're not employees, as you all know. Then Deliveroo trainer. It used to be in Reading that they received £6.25 per hour for every hour, as well as the hourly, as well as the £1 per drop. That's now changed to £2.50 per trial for every time they do a trial, and £1 if the person they're doing a trial doesn't turn up. The next step up is the zone captain, and there's no point of me telling you how much they get paid because it probably changes in every area, but they get paid more than the Deliveroo workers. However, and this is a big however, they don't get £1 per drop. So the zone captains are there to support the lead rider. So the lead rider will install the tablets, be kind of a liaison between the restaurants, be support for the riders and the restaurants, just deal with any problems, take on responsibility, the stress of not so much supervising staff but being there to support them, and the zone captain is there to support the lead. So yeah, the lead gets more money than the captain. However, the lead doesn't get the per drop pay either. And the justification for that, when I had the conversation with Deliveroo management when I was interested in being the captain, because I like money, and I thought, hey, if it's a higher per hour, then it can't be a bad thing. And then they mentioned that, and their justification was that it's not fair if they take somebody out of doing deliveries, the zone captain out doing deliveries, to fix a tablet or fix something or do whatever, because they won't be earning the extra £1 per hour, which I think is a little bit ridiculous, because even if they do that, you'll still be earning the £1 for the rest of the time. So I think that's a ridiculous justification. You can't say to someone, hey, well, obviously you can because people are doing it, but I think it's ridiculous to say to somebody, hey, I want you to take on more responsibilities, I want you to do exactly the same job, but I'm going to pay you less, but you have to do more responsibilities. So just to mention here about KFC, Louis, still being responsible, Louis, he he brought out some extra food because they didn't give me enough. And you're probably saying, well, you should have checked that before you took it. With some restaurants, including KFC, it's very difficult to identify the food because they give you random bags and random boxes. It's very difficult to say, like, okay, there's 3 items on the order, I want 3 items, when they give you multiple things like corn and coleslaw and different things. And this is the first time there's been a problem, so maybe I can identify drinks, but it's very difficult to identify the food. So I'm not going to give myself a hard time about realising that not all the food was there when they had given me the food. But Louis saved the day, so it's all good. Yeah, so asking someone to take on more responsibilities but pay them less, I think, is a little bit crazy. But I don't know. So we're just talking about how chaotic it was in KFC. People do like their fried chicken. It does get a little bit crazy. So that's Louis' Forza. I can't remember how big it is. It's like something like a 150cc or something like that. But he can shift on that thing. It might even be bigger than 150, I don't know. So where were we going with this? Yeah, so that's crazy, in my opinion. Paying people less. And I can't remember where I'm going now. So I think I do 2 deliveries and then I stop it. And then I throw in a bit of a hill, which I keep saying is dangerous. But it never seems to be dangerous when I'm recording, but I thought I'd point it out, show it anyway. So drama. I mentioned drama earlier. So somebody had their bike stolen, and that sucks. That really, really does suck. Even worse than that, there was chat on the group chat where somebody was mugged at knife point in I think it was Caversham Park Village, which isn't even that bad of an area. So that's somewhat surprising. I have contacted the person to ask them if I can interview them, just to get their perspective and maybe help other people avoid this situation. But all I know at the moment is that he's safe. They didn't steal anything. And it happened in an alleyway. So if we're going by tips for avoiding that, if you're in any doubt, avoid dark alleyways at night. But hopefully I'll get more information on that. I think the police have been involved, but apart from, it looks at the moment maybe only minor injuries. There's no stabs. I don't think there's any I don't think it was as serious. Well, don't get me wrong, it's bloody serious. I'm shocked. I always thought that well, this is my disillusionment. Is that a word? Disillusion? That people would leave Deliveroo couriers alone, just let them get on with their job. And obviously I am grossly mistaken. So I'm somewhat disappointed about that, and I feel very bad for the guy that it happened to. Stuff like that could really, like, depending on how, well, if a knife was involved, it's serious. Anyway, let's move on. So I'm going to a pretty cool customer now. And he also gives me a tip, which is quite nice. It's always nice to get tips. So, the bad thing from today is I tried to do a good thing for a homeless person, and in doing so I kind of felt a little bit like my generosity was taken advantage of, and I'm not quite sure how to explain that. I'm going to think about how I feel about it before I talk about it, because I don't want to... Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about some good things. So, yesterday, it has happened before, but I was recognised from YouTube, which is awesome. I thought that was really cool. And the other big news, well, a couple of good things happened actually yesterday. I got to have coffee with my friend Natalie. She was the person who trained me. Yeah, this guy's like, hey, you got a camera? Yeah, I got to have coffee with my friend Natalie. She was my trainer. We've become quite good friends, actually. She's really cool. And actually, I've decided that I really want to interview her. There's a couple of people that I really want to interview. There's Natalie, just because she's such a character. She's very interesting. She's very funny. There is Chris. Chris is another perfect employee like Sam. He's a very kind, very, very nice person. Chris is very cool. I like him a lot. And he's somebody that if you ask for tips, then he would give you a very considered answer. He's a nice guy. Somebody else that I want to interview is Jack, just because he's the zone captain. He's a bit of a character too. He rides a single speed. Oh, you met Jack actually. He was the guy that I spoke to about the trial that got hit by the bus. So I want to try and do an interview with him if I get a chance. Obviously Sam, if he'll let me. He doesn't really like the camera. And who else? Joseph. Joseph's a very interesting person. I think that would be a very entertaining interview. He's an IT professional, but he does this as well. Okay, so this guy, if you work for Deliveroo, it's only a matter of time before this happens. It probably happens to me about 2 times a week. He's just asking me about Deliveroo. And I think it's better to be a nice person than it is to be a rude person. So unless something is very pressing, very urgent, I will make time for people. This is just an example of how busy and popular Deliveroo is growing, at least in Reading. Whilst I'm talking to this guy, I think at least 2 Deliveroo people go past. So, very popular in the Reading area at the moment. It's quite funny, sometimes people think that Deliveroo is my business. It's like, okay, that would be very cool. Wouldn't have to worry about money if it was my business. Okay, so where did we get to? The good day yesterday. The main feature of yesterday was the fact that a group of filmmakers came from Southampton to interview me for a documentary that they're making about Deliveroo riders. And then after that, I introduced them to some other people and they interviewed them too. And I didn't know exactly what it was about. They found me on YouTube. I thought that they were going to try and... I thought it was going to be... I don't know what I thought it was going to be, really. I just thought that they were going to try and make me say things about the strike, and that did come up, but that wasn't the only thing that we talked about, and it wasn't propaganda. It was a very professional, organised interview with professional equipment for a film festival, and I don't remember where else they said that it was going to be broadcast, but they did say that they would let me see it and review it before it was broadcast. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be pretty cool. And also I managed to interview them, just do a little tips video. I am obsessed with tips, money and the helpful kind. Just a few tips for filmmakers, just to try and help people who are interested in making content, whether that be documentary, YouTube, or whatever. So that was very kind of them to give me some of their time as after the interview. Yeah, that was very enjoyable. And then also, you may have already seen it now because this video is late, but I got to see Paula, joking, Pauline, for the first time since her accident. She is a Deliveroo cyclist who bought a motorbike specifically for Deliveroo, and I think within a week, I can't remember exactly what she said now, her second shift, no, it wasn't. I can't remember. You have to watch it, but within a very short period of time, she had an accident. I don't think it was her fault, but another motorcyclist hit her, knocked her off. So I interview her and just talk about that. That's already up. You may have already seen it. So let's look at some comments. So just in Prezzo, I think I'm going off to the university after this one. What are you at? We're at 23 minutes, so more than halfway through. This lady just she starts telling me about the tablet, how she hates the tablet, and I have noticed that every time I go in here there's an error message, and this is the only place I've noticed it. But she did say that they've got a new tablet, they're just waiting for somebody to install it. Okay, so I'll start getting this food. Let's do some comments. And I have noticed that I have been neglecting the commentary on the actual video, so I will try and do a little bit more of that. So Sean, he says, how much of the gear are you required to use? Do you need to wear the clothes and the bag, or can you use your own? The bag, I would say definitely use. It's designed to keep the food upright, and it's designed to keep the food hot. And unless you have something very, very similar, then I wouldn't use your own stuff. That's my opinion. Deliveroo would say yes, you definitely have to use our bag, and they would probably say stuff along the lines of for hygiene reasons, and also because you're wearing our uniform and it's branded, and that's how we want you to appear. But when it comes to the clothes, I would say, as I've said previously, working 7 days a week, it's impossible to wear a top layer all of the time. Well, it's not impossible, it's impractical, especially when it's cold or rainy or both. So like today, I'm wearing a brown hoodie, and as I say in all the previous videos, if anybody has a problem with that, then they can email me. So I'm just on the way to the university now. Is this Adam? Spelled with an E? That's strange. He says, my bike isn't the greatest, has wear and tear. But it rides and only has one gear. Don't worry about the one gear. Loads of people have single gear bikes. Is there any point of me doing a Deliveroo trial? Yeah, for sure. Depending on who your trainer is, as long as you got brakes, lights and a helmet and you can keep up with them, then it doesn't matter what you ride really. And I mentioned that my bike only cost £12.50 on eBay, and then I spent a couple of £100 fixing it, which was a bit silly, but I made a lot of mistakes. Undiscovered YouTuber says Liverpool is a mad city to do Deliveroo, and you could be riding behind a taxi and then it just randomly slams on the brakes and does a 3-point turn. Yep, I don't think that's a Liverpool specific issue. I think that taxi drivers in general typically do that. I'm not painting all taxi drivers with the same brush, but there's a certain part of Oxford Road which is just so dangerous to ride down for all the people turning around and stopping. The closest I got to being car doored was by a taxi driver. He was a very funny guy. After I did the delivery, because I was rushing, I came back and very nicely and politely I said to him, "Hey, you almost hit me with your car door." To which he said, "Yeah, I didn't see you." It's like, yeah, I kind of gathered that, but okay, there, you carry on. Okay, somebody asked how they get the Deliveroo app. You have to get the job to get the Deliveroo app. They send you a timed link. Had a really random comment that I missed when he made it from Scotchman's Van. Let me see if I can find it. Some guy was tipped in pennies, £2 in pennies, and I think that's quite amusing actually. But if everyone did that, then it might get a bit difficult going up the hills if you've had like £5 or £10 in tips. But still, pennies are better than nothing. Especially when you can just go to Metro Bank and get them changed either for real money or for just go straight into your bank account. I bank with Metro Bank. I'm not sponsored by them, but I think they're a very good bank. Okay, so I had a message from Darren Yo. He says, "Hey, great video. I'm part of the union. We are holding a few meetings this week and next week regarding holiday pay and sick pay, and we want Deliveroo to recognise the union is working with us to get this put in place. Hope you can mention this in your next video." I just did. And you have to get time to interview me. Yeah, definitely, for sure. Either if you want to come to Reading, or if I'm in London, I'll let you know. Excuse me. Or we could try and do something online. I'm not a big fan of the Skype interviews because I find them quite difficult to watch, but we will do that because I think that would be quite interesting. But I replied, I love contentious issues. I said, yeah. I said I'll do that, but the reason I said I loved contentious issues is because I didn't want him to come to the interview, if we do it, with the impression that it's going to be me blowing smoke up his arse. It's not. My opinion probably is unique on this subject, and it definitely wouldn't be Darren Yo, we love you so. Sorry, that was really bad. It would be a fair honest interview, trying to put forward both arguments. But anyway, I'm up for that. Ben Brewer says he started today. He did 2 hours, but he couldn't finish his shift because his pedal snapped. And he says, you've been really helpful during the training. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you to say. Don't worry too much about snapping your pedal. I've had several accidents on my bike. I say accidents. I've had several spokes break. At least, I think, 3 now. The first one just happened because I hit something a bit hard. And then the 2 after that were because the car that hit me bent the rim, so I had to get a new wheel in the end. Maxwell, a regular commenter, a very, very kind person. Thank you very much for your kind comments. Said something along the lines of a series on a different job because I'm moving in after Christmas, so I'm not going to be doing this after Christmas. The channel will live on, hopefully through my nephew, because he works for Deliveroo. But I'll start talking to him and seeing if I can get some assurances before I go. If not, I might have to speak to some of my colleagues and see if anybody is interested. It's unlikely, but I'll try. But yeah, Maxwell mentions that a series on my next venture might be cool, and definitely I've got a vlog channel now called Craigie Vlogs, and that's going to follow me whatever I'm doing. I've got quite a few different channels. I've got one just for product reviews, which I tried to do professionally, so I deleted all of my old product reviews off there, and there's just a couple on there at the moment. I've got my old channel, which I just use as a bit of a miscellaneous video dump. Got some pretty funny videos on there, if anybody's interested. Okay, so I'm just going up an ever so slight hill now, just before I go into the university. Okay, let's put the comments on hold and just concentrate on the video. So I have some interesting news, but I have to think about how I'm going to break it. This isn't like BBC, Sky News type breaking news, but it is Deliveroo related breaking news. I shan't do it now, but I am going to tease you a little bit. It's about one of the projects which I mentioned a couple of times now. So I'm just approaching, there's halls all over the place, but this is like the halls which have just been built within the last 10 years or 5 years, I think 5 years maybe. They were actually building these when maybe they had just finished building them, I don't remember exactly, but no, I think they were building them when I was there, when I was at this university, because our law school was literally within a minute's walk of where I am now, so I walk past this most days. So basically the process is, there's no point of using the buttons because they ring through to the common area on each floor, so the kitchen, and I've tried it a couple of times and never once has somebody answered it, so I'm not saying that students are lazy, but nobody's ever answered it, so now I just don't bother. so that was a bit late. I tried to help her, but I wasn't paying attention. Okay, so I cut that one off there just because nothing interesting happened. I just waited for a couple of minutes and then got on with my day. This is the top of Redlands Road, and we're very close to the end of the video, so let's just talk about this. So I've just started the descent, and this is the first junction. It's on a slight bend. The cars can't see, so it's not really, I can't really blame them that much, but they tend to stick their nose out and get in the way, and if a car's overtaking you whilst a car's sticking its nose out from a junction, it just gets dangerous. The right turn there, cars normally stop or brake hard, like this one's doing, but because it's a right turn and there's usually cars coming up it, they have to stop. So typically what happens is a car will overtake you, try to turn right in front of you, and then have to stop because there's cars stopping him, and I think that's a little bit selfish. So lots of potential risks here is parking for the hospital, and cars are always pulling in and out, and I don't know if they're thinking about their loved ones in the hospital or what they're thinking about, but in 2 days, 2 people, like one day and one and then the next day another, pulled out in front of me from parking spaces there, and then just didn't stop. Even after they pulled out, they were oblivious to the fact that there was a cyclist there, even though it was dark. I had my lights on, I had my high vis on, so they couldn't even say they couldn't even see me, so that's quite disappointing. But anyway, I'll keep filming this hill whenever I can and try and demonstrate some of the hazards that I'm referring to, but you just have to take my word for it and just be safe on descents. We don't, well, I'm sure you already know, but bikes don't brake as efficient as cars. Well, you may do if you have disc brakes. I know the disc brakes are quite good. Okay, so this is just a little teaser. My battery's just about to die. I was trying to do it with my really good camera, but the battery died.
So you guys might remember Pauline, as I like to... Yeah, we're doing it now.
That's such a good camera. Look at that quality.
She's a cyclist, but you've also just bought a motorbike, right?
Yes.
Brand new.
Well, pretty much, yeah.
Tell me what happened.
And it died. So you have to watch the video. I think it's called something like... It's the one with the motorbike accident in the thumbnail. Anyway, take it easy, guys.